What if I told you anxiety isn't just nervousness? What if depression wasn't simply sadness, but something far deeper? What if the greatest danger wasn't bad feelings, but how they hijack brilliant minds and turn them into their own worst enemies? Imagine a doctor trained to heal others, unable to get out of bed in the morning. A talented artist who's lost all passion for her craft. A dedicated student who suddenly believes he's a complete failure. These aren't weak people. They're intelligent, capable individuals now fighting a silent war inside their own minds. And the scariest part, this doesn't just happen to others, it happens to people like you, like me. They're not just bad days, they're real disorders, rooted in biology, brain chemistry, and the invisible wounds we carry. Anxiety is the body's alarm system firing for no reason. Depression is like an emotional winter that never ends. And here's the worst part, they lie to you. Anxiety whispers, you're going to fail. Everyone is judging you. Depression insists, nothing will get better. You don't deserve happiness. And slowly, you start to believe it. You see, our brains weren't designed for the world we live in today. The chemicals that help us feel happy and motivated get thrown out of balance when we're constantly stressed. And that part of our brain that handles fear, it starts seeing danger everywhere, even when we're safe. This isn't about being weak. It's about how our biology struggles to keep up. Now think about how we live today. We spend hours scrolling through social media, comparing our real lives to everyone else's perfect moments. We feel like we should always be working, always be available, because our phones keep us connected 24/7. And despite being more connected than ever, many of us feel truly lonely because online interactions just can't replace real human connection. What makes this worse is when people say things like, just get over it, or it's all in your head. That's like telling someone with a broken arm to just stop feeling the pain. Mental health struggles are real health issues. These aren't just bad moods or passing feelings. They're real, measurable medical conditions with serious consequences. In 2023, the World Health Organization made a startling declaration. Depression is now the leading cause of disability worldwide. That means it's affecting more people's ability to work, function, and live full lives than any other health condition. And science shows us why. Brain scans reveal that severe depression physically changes the brain, shrinking the hippocampus, the area responsible for memory and emotional regulation. Chronic anxiety doesn't just feel exhausting. Research shows it can actually age the body prematurely, wearing down our cells faster than normal. This isn't about willpower. You wouldn't tell someone with diabetes to just snap out of it. You wouldn't accuse someone with a broken bone of being too sensitive. Yet when it comes to mental health, people still say things like, just think positive or toughen up. But science proves this isn't weakness, it's biology. The good news, understanding this is the first step to change. Just like we treat physical illnesses with medicine, therapy, and lifestyle changes, we can treat depression and anxiety. The key is recognizing it for what it is, not a personal failing, but a health issue that deserves care and compassion. We live in an age that medicalizes distress and pathologizes normal human emotions. When anxiety arises, we immediately search for ways to eliminate it. When depression lingers, we demand instant relief. This mindset, while understandable, often exacerbates our suffering by creating additional anxiety about our anxiety, fostering shame when solutions don't work immediately, preventing us from learning what our emotions might teach us. This problem-solving approach fundamentally misunderstands human existence. Life isn't a math equation with clear solutions. It's a complex, often ambiguous journey that requires engagement rather than correction. Modern psychiatry often views anxiety as a malfunction to be medicated away, but existential philosophy suggests anxiety serves important functions. It reveals what we truly care about. We only feel anxious about things that matter to us. It signals when we're facing important life decisions. It can motivate personal growth if properly understood. The key isn't to eliminate anxiety completely, an impossible goal, but to develop a different relationship with it. When anxiety whispers, "What if everything goes wrong?" we might respond, "What if it works?" Social media platforms present an illusion of infinite choice. Just be positive, just optimize yourself. Yet, this very freedom becomes oppressive. We're constantly forced to curate, perform, and compare ourselves, bearing the exhausting responsibility of crafting an ideal digital identity. Social media anxiety stems from bad faith, our surrender to external definitions of happiness, rather than owning our authentic emotional experiences. The pressure to appear perfect online is a form of self-denial, where we pretend our worth is determined by likes, rather than our conscious choices to live truthfully. The weight of professional choices. In late-stage capitalism, the idea that you can be anything becomes a trap. The freedom to choose a career turns into anguish when the market demands early specialization, but punishes those who don't constantly reinvent themselves. Precarious work transforms autonomy into loneliness. Self-employed workers become entrepreneurs of the self, yet lack any safety net. Meritocracy convinces us that failures are moral flaws, not systemic ones. Depression takes root when we internalize that our worth lies in the end product, in success and productivity, rather than in the process of existing authentically. Relationships in the age of ghosting. Dating apps promise endless connections, but this illusion of freedom hides darker truths. Too many options leave us unable to commit. People become as disposable as a discarded match. We blame ourselves when relationships fail, thinking why people don't like you. We crave genuine connection, yet flee from the vulnerability it requires, leaving us frozen in anxiety. We're trapped between wanting intimacy and fearing exposure, turning romance into a source of stress rather than fulfillment. Religions, ideologies, and traditions once offered ready-made answers. Today, the freedom to create your own meaning also brings the exhaustion of constantly having to design who you are for the world, even when you're not sure what to do. We are flooded with gurus and self-help gurus selling pre-packaged formulas to fill the void, making you believe anything is possible, regardless of your reality. There is no filter in reality to see the true nature of the people around us. If there were, it would be easy to spot the greed, the rot behind all those help books and seminars that charge fortunes just to tell you the problem is inside you. And if you don't get better, it's because you don't want to. We are trapped in a pathological nostalgia for simpler times that never existed, times when depression and anxiety supposedly didn't exist. The truth is, they were always there, lurking, waiting for you to falter so they could drag you into an inescapable limbo. Modern depression is often boredom with oneself, the exhaustion, the frustration of having to perform an identity in a world with no stable references, labels you will never manage to reach. There's a truth no self-help book dares confess. The deepest wounds are always secret doors. Even in the most shattered soul remains an indestructible spark, not as vague hope, but as a law of the human psyche. This is the sublime irony of our existence. The deeper we dive into our shadows, the closer we come to the light that dwells within us. We live in an era obsessed with extinguishing darkness. We buy courses promising to erase anxiety in 7 days, swallow pills that mask melancholy, follow gurus who turn spirituality into productivity checklists, all to avoid facing the one truth that matters. Depression isn't the opposite of vitality, but its most honest messenger. When emptiness takes root, it isn't stealing life from us. It's showing us where we stopped living it. Do neurons in depressed people retain their capacity for reconnection? The prefrontal cortex, that region asking, "Who am I?" isn't corrupted, merely dormant. And this dormancy serves a precise purpose. It's the psyche's way of forcing retreat, like necessary winter before spring. Ancient peoples knew this. They called it the dark night of the soul. We've lost the wisdom of rites of passage and received lab diagnoses in exchange. But here's the secret that spans millennia. That spark never disappears. It merely hides in the folds of our perception, waiting to be recognized, not through willpower or positive thinking, but through the courage to sit in the fire of one's own vulnerability. When we stop fighting depression and start listening to it, something strange happens. It reveals itself not as an enemy, but as a part of us that knows more than our consciousness admits. Here lies healing's most beautiful paradox. We only rediscover our light when we accept it never left us. It was simply transforming in silence, like a seed beneath snow. There's no technique for this, no shortcut, just the simple and revolutionary act of looking inward to whisper, "If you're here, hidden in this pain, show yourself and wait without hurry." Because every spark knows its exact moment to become flame.